Well, hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, student athlete world USA, coming at you on another unbelievably cold Thursday here in the Northeast. I feel like this video, my show, as I like to call it, has become just a weekly miserable weather report. I like the winter. I do. And it's among it's among my favorite seasons. I was about to say, which makes no sense, but I enjoy the wintertime. I just don't like celebrating the winter like this. It's like Mother Nature. Okay, we get it. You're the all powerful Mother Nature. You're strong. You're fierce. We get it. Mother Nature in this world is undefeated. Totally get it. Time to move on. At least get us back into the 40s, maybe the 50s a little bit, so we can do things outside. All right. This is just, I cannot ever remember just feeling this cold like all the time. Like if you're in the Northeast, you got to know what I'm talking about. But even for those of you who watch hockey like I do, they had the Stadium Series game down in Tampa Bay last weekend. It was like 35 degrees outside. Like it was hockey weather. It's just been ridiculous this winter. So, hello from the cold. I have a space heater literally resting on my feet right now. But it's crazy. And then, you know what we're gonna say? It's gonna be 105 out one day in July, and it's like, yeah, I missed the winter. But right now, I miss being able to like check the mail without having to bundle up. That's what I miss. I miss being comfortable. And it's gonna be this weekend in the Northeast, like record low temperatures, like 50-mile-an-hour winds when it's 20 degrees outside. So it's gonna feel like minus 20. So it is literally warmer in Alaska than it is where I live right now. Unbelievable. Anyway, student athlete world business, we are rolling along. In sports terms, we have entered the fourth quarter of our rostering process. If you go on our website, you'll notice not every tour is up there that was listed before. And there's a specific reason for that because we're no longer offering roster spots for those tours. And I can tell you of the tours that are still on the website, we are very quickly filling those tours as well. All right, we are in the home stretch here. Plenty of roster spots out there among our sports, but not enough to wait too long. Now, here's something that's happening too. And Tim can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember ever in the last almost 4 years hitting February and waking up to like a whole bunch of new applications. And usually it's like applications and a couple weeks later interviews. And then shortly thereafter, we offer roster spots. And it just seems like the last, let's call it 3 weeks, we have seen a very significant uptick in applications for our tours. So what that means is that uptick in applications is pretty soon going to become more interviews, which is pretty soon thereafter going to become more roster spots full, which means we're looking at the fourth quarter being potentially somewhat quick. And so if you're watching this and you're still on that on ramp, I gotta tell you, this is it. Because if the way our applications turn into actual travelers holds true, I'm thinking end of February, we are really limited in what we have left. So we're literally weeks away potentially from kind of closing shop or getting there for the summer of 2026. You do not want to miss out on this. Okay. Because that whole thing, well, I'll just go the next year. You're gonna wait another year for this? No, you don't want to wait another year for this. But right now, we have great opportunities still available in all of our sports. We are filling rosters quickly. We are getting applications in quickly. We're doing interviews. I think I have a day coming up, like 12 of them. I think whenever we observe President's Day, I didn't limit my calendar. So I'm just going to be presidential and work. I'm going to do Tim's job, be president for a day. But we're keeping real busy here, filling roster spots to the end. But the message to you is really simple. You are running out of time. And we don't want to see you miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime of traveling with us. So get those applications done. And that's the big news this week. We've seen this big uptick in applications, and it's exciting for me because it means I get to meet more of you. And now, what in the world? What in the world this week is brought to you by the Olympics. All right, it's begun. And I know the opening ceremony, I believe, is tomorrow. But for anyone who's either watched my show regularly, and it's been a full Olympic cycle, this is year 4, or you've just gotten to know me, I get downright giddy about the Olympics. Doesn't matter winter or summer. I love the Olympics. I don't know. I just love competition. I love sports in general. There are very few sports that I don't genuinely enjoy watching, and I love sports at their highest level. But the Olympics just hit you differently. And like today, I was answering emails, and the United States women's ice hockey team, which is usually a powerhouse, like it's usually U.S. or Canada in women's ice hockey, like they had their first game. So I got my little pop up. They're about to face off. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to put that on while I'm answering emails, and got all into that game. I watched some curling, and I love curling. But I just cannot get enough of the Olympics. Like, I bucket list for me is getting to an Olympics. I know we have one coming up in LA in a couple of years, the Summer Olympics in lacrosse, my sport, will be played there, and part of me would love to go. Who knows if I'll actually do it, but I've always wanted to like go to an Olympics in another country and just be there for like weeks and enjoy all those events that you don't get to see during a typical sports year. So to anyone competing in the United States uniform, just like we do, good luck to you. Bring home the gold. And if you're not an Olympics fan, but you are a sports fan, just turn it on and watch. Like, it's just so cool. You only get to watch it every 4 years. And I'm especially excited for Olympic ice hockey. The NHL is playing. Go USA. But if you're not a hockey fan, my advice to you is for this Olympics, become one. Because I don't love Olympic basketball. They take it seriously. They try for gold medals. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't find it as compelling as I do Olympic hockey. I think the national pride component of ice hockey is personally stronger than it is in a sport like basketball where professionals get to play. And a lot of that is because in the NHL, if you are a player who is from another country, which probably represents, 3/4 of the league, if not more, you probably grew up playing most of your hockey in your home country, which makes it probably a little different than basketball. And so the national pride, okay, that nationalism in the form of ice hockey really comes out when the NHL players go to the Olympics. And the games are really intense, especially once you hit the medal round. And it's just so much fun. So if you're not in ice hockey, watch Olympic ice hockey. You will love it. It's great. Like, I cannot wait. I'll watch any Olympic ice hockey game because it doesn't matter. It's like an all-star game that they're taking seriously every single game. And the medal round games are just incredible. Can't wait for it. Today's just day one of the Olympics. I got to watch a bunch. Going to watch it all as much as I possibly can as I'm freezing here in Connecticut. So what in the world this week? Oh boy, there is so much to choose from too. But I have to say, what in the world? We're going to continue on a hockey theme. And I know what you're thinking. He's going to talk about the Rangers, my favorite team, trading not only their best player, but arguably their best free agent signing in their history, Artemi Panarin. If you did not know, if you don't follow hockey, he was traded to the LA Kings yesterday, and the Rangers got back a return slightly better than like a bucket of brand new pucks. Like, terrible trade. I'm not going to go off on the Rangers. It's been a frustrating season, but I'm going to talk about hockey a little bit because my what in the world is going to go into the world of college hockey and a situation involving pound for pound, probably the best hockey player in the NCAA. His name is Gavin McKenna, and he plays at Penn State University, and he's currently under arrest. And here's the short of the story. So he is, I believe, 19 years old. He plays for Penn State, and he's a fantastic player. As long as he avoids jail in this situation, you're going to hear his name for a while. So he's out to eat with his family. I guess he had a game. And an older gentleman, I believe a Penn State student, if not a recent grad, was in this establishment where the McKenna family was eating, had a lot too much to drink, and decided to start to mouth off to the best college hockey player in the country, which makes him a very tough human being who's extremely physically fit and rather strong. During the back and forth, as members of the family tried to keep the two apart, this gentleman proceeded to call Gavin McKenna's mother, something that I will not repeat. Decorum prohibits me from doing so. And Gavin McKenna, despite being the best player in college hockey, a very recognizable figure, and most likely the number one pick in the NHL draft that he enters, threw a couple of punches and ended that man's evening and broke his jaw, and was arrested and charged with a felony assault that could carry with it 20 years in prison. And here's what I'll say about that. Who among us would allow our mother to be called in public an incredibly derogatory term and not respond by breaking that man's jaw? Do I advocate violence? I do not. Okay. Would restraint have been the better option? Of course. But, you're a mama's boy, you love your mom. All of us, right? 99% of us. If I'm out to dinner, lunch, breakfast, anywhere with my mother, and someone calls her the name that this gentleman called Gavin McKenna's mother, I'd break his jaw too. So I'm not saying it is okay that there was violence. I am saying that this man had it coming. And sometimes that's the way of the world. You run your mouth, you get a smack. What happened to that? Like, when did it become a crime defending your mother? All right. And again, I'm not saying like someone looks at you the wrong way and you turn around and belt them in the face and break a bone. But he went after this guy's mother. Like, no. And so should Gavin McKenna be found guilty of something? Yes. But while doing so, he should be found guilty of defending his mother's honor. And I personally respect that. What can happen here is if he is found guilty of the serious felony charge, he will go to jail, likely ending his hockey career, which would be sad. But it's not an eye for an eye. All right. He's defending his mother. And the person who decided to drink too much and run his mouth to the wrong person at the wrong time. Something that I could certainly sympathize with if I'm Gavin McKenna. So my hope here is that, hey, Mr. McKenna, you're guilty of something that if you behave well will go away. You'll pay maybe a fine, do some community service, but you resume your hockey career for Penn State. Does crime pay? No. Do I advocate violence? No. Crime? No. I follow the law. But do I think that Gavin McKenna should see his whole future destroyed because someone decided to mouth off to his mother and got put in his place for it? This could be a controversial take here. This guy who ran his mouth got what he deserved. You make fun of my mother, I'm coming back at you. That's the way it should be. There's a value system at work here. And I know there's that one thing, well, we shouldn't be violent towards one another, and I agree with that, but I also think there's a line that you don't cross. And publicly calling somebody's mother what this person reportedly called Gavin McKenna's mother is a line that he crossed, and he paid the price. Gavin McKenna, I respect you for it. I hope you never do it again. I hope you learned a lesson. And I hope you, I feel like I'm speaking to a child, I hope you use your words next time maybe. But the person who needs to learn the lesson here is not Gavin McKenna. It's the guy who's ran his mouth. And that's the way the world used to be. And at some point, we have forgotten that there are consequences to your actions whether they are words or physical actions. And in this case, somebody who should not have been running his mouth to begin with did so. And now he gets to get his jaw wired shut for a couple of weeks, finally closing his mouth. So for Gavin McKenna, I hope there's some degree of punishment. But if it is something that ruins him, either as a college player or beyond, I don't think it's fair. I think we should all be allowed to protect our moms. And that's it for the latest spin this week. As always, great fun. And as always, as we enter the fourth quarter, there is only one way to make this the coolest experience of your sports career. Go to studentathleteworld.com, complete your application, interview with me, and pack your bags. If you're in this cold, stay safe, stay warm, enjoy the Super Bowl. Probably going to talk about that next week. Enjoy the Olympics, enjoy college basketball, enjoy the NBA. What a wonderful time of year. And baseball training camp, spring training 2 weeks away. It doesn't get better than that, people. See you next week. Have a great week, everyone.